So the park that I chose is Carlsbad Caverns National Park, which is located in New Mexico, and the challenge it's facing is potential gas and oil development in and around the park area. So here you can see a Google Earth image of Carlsbad Caverns National Park, and it is on the bottom left side, extending all the way to the top right. It's a whole underground cave system, and as you can see in the upper right corner, the National Park Visitor Center is where people enter the park. So this is an official map of Carlsbad Caverns National Park, again located in New Mexico, and as you can see along the red line, that is the New Mexico border with Texas, and there are many trails as well as caves that you can visit in the park. So the challenge that this park is facing is potential gas and oil development. And this comes with both positive and negative aspects. The positive aspects include increased oil, which leads to lower energy costs, the creation of jobs for people, more independence for the U.S. where oil is concerned, and landowners can earn money. However, there are also negative aspects, such as air and water pollution. Oil fracking can end up hitting the city water supply, damage to the park and resources, as well as unknown effects to the underground caverns. And I've included a picture of the entrance to Carlsbad Caverns. So here you can see the lower energy costs and the creation of jobs and how it impacts the economy. So we start with the discovery of fracking, and this increases the production of oil and gas in the U.S., which in turn leads to lowered energy costs, and this gives Americans more money because lower energy costs leads to lower prices for oil, and the money that people save from not spending as much money on oil will be spent, and therefore demand in the economy will increase for products that people buy, and employment will rise because of the increased demand for products and goods in the economy, and this leads to an overall improved economy. Another positive aspect of oil drilling in and around Carlsbad Caverns National Park is the increased independence that the U.S. will have, as well as money for landowners. So an increased amount of oil in the U.S. leads to decreased dependence on other countries, and therefore the U.S. will be able to choose and control the price of oil because it will be cheaper to produce it in the country versus overseas. Also, landowners have to lease their property, and it's actually their underground property, to oil companies in order for them to have permission to frack for oil. And if they indeed strike oil, landowners could receive thousands of dollars in royalties, and again, this leads to more money in people's pockets, and they'll spend more, which improves the economy overall. And I'm currently developing this slide, which is some of the negative aspects of oil drilling. And this includes air and water pollution around the area. So power plants, as well as oil and gas wells and refineries within the area, can lead to unwanted emissions that can affect and harm the air quality and people's health. And I will go on to discuss how some of the chemicals that are used in fracking, if they end up leaking into the underground water supply for the city, it could destroy Carlsbad City's water supply, which is a negative aspect. And then I'll go on to explain how the damage to the park and resources, as well as unknown effects on caverns. And then I will talk about the geology of Carlsbad Caverns National Park. And this is my developing list of references.